Have you ever caught yourself saying something to your adult children that you didn't mean to be hurtful, but later realized it may have pushed them away? It's something many of us do without even thinking. As we grow older, the way we communicate with our children naturally changes. The relationships we share with them are no longer about daily caregiving or being their constant guide. They become more about respect, understanding, and maintaining a healthy emotional connection. But sometimes, something as simple as a single phrase, said with love or even frustration, can deeply affect that bond. Today, we're going to talk about 5 phrases that seniors should avoid saying to their adult children. These words might seem innocent or even helpful in the moment, but they can unintentionally harm the relationship. And the second one we'll cover is particularly important. It can drive a wedge between you and your children that's tough to repair, and often, it's said without us even realizing the damage it causes. Our goal today is to help you communicate more openly, build stronger bonds, and ensure your relationship with your adult children continues to grow in a positive direction. By the end of this video, you'll understand why these phrases can be so harmful, and more importantly, how to shift your communication to create stronger, more respectful conversations. I'm sure many of us have unintentionally said something we later wished we could take back. Maybe you've asked yourself, why did I say that? Or thought about the awkward silence that followed. We're going to explore how to avoid these moments, so your connection with your children only becomes stronger, not weaker. Before we get started, I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever said something to your child that didn't come out right? Maybe a phrase that you thought was helpful, but in hindsight, it wasn't? Share your experience in the comments below. I'd really like to know what you think. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on that bell icon, so you never miss out on tips like these to help you connect and grow your relationships in the most positive way possible. Let's get started. Phrase number 1. I sacrificed everything for you. When you say, I sacrificed everything for you, it's often a statement that comes from a deep place of love and care. As parents and grandparents, we've given so much to raise our children, and we might feel that they don't fully recognize the sacrifices we've made. It's natural to want to be appreciated for all that we've done, but the problem with this particular phrase is that it can unintentionally place a heavy burden on our adult children. Instead of feeling grateful, they might feel guilty or even resentful for all the sacrifices we claim to have made. Adult children may hear this phrase and feel like they now owe us something in return, or worse, they might feel as if they've never done enough to show their appreciation. It creates an imbalance in the relationship, where the focus shifts from mutual respect to a sense of indebtedness. It's as if they're being asked to carry the weight of all that we've done for them, and no matter what they do, it can never feel like enough. For example, imagine a conversation where a parent says, I gave up so much for you. This might be said in a moment of frustration or sadness, but for the adult child, it might feel like a reminder of everything they might not be doing to pay back those sacrifices. The focus shifts from love to obligation, and it's a pressure no one wants to carry. Now, imagine instead saying, I'm so proud of everything you've become. This simple shift in language can have a profound impact. It expresses the same sentiment, but in a way that's free of guilt or resentment. It focuses on the adult child's growth and achievements, not on the sacrifices made on their behalf. When we shift our language from self-sacrifice to appreciation, we open the door for a more positive and supportive relationship. If you're looking for a way to express your love and pride, consider saying, I love seeing how you're living your life. It brings me joy. This approach highlights their independence and success while reinforcing that you are happy for them. It's a way of showing that you're proud of who they are, without making them feel like they owe you anything in return. By shifting away from phrases that focus on sacrifice, we can create a healthier and more balanced dynamic in our relationships. It's about celebrating our children's lives and the people they've become, not reminding them of what we gave up. Let's remember, healthy relationships thrive on respect, love, and understanding, not guilt. Phrase number 2, you never call anymore. When we say, you never call anymore, it's often coming from a place of loneliness or longing. We miss the connection with our children, especially as they grow older and get busy with their own lives. We're not saying it to guilt-trip them, but sometimes, that's exactly how it comes across. Our adult children may hear, I'm not doing enough, and immediately feel defensive. It's like we're holding them responsible for our loneliness or unmet needs, even if we don't intend to. Imagine the scenario. You're feeling a little down, and you haven't heard from your child in a few days or weeks. You pick up the phone and leave a voicemail, "You never call anymore." In that moment, it feels like you're just expressing how much you miss them. But for your child, it might feel like a heavy burden. They could be juggling work, family, and their own responsibilities, and now, they might feel guilty for not calling as often as they should. Instead of fostering connection, this phrase creates distance. What's more, they might begin to avoid calling you because they associate that phrase with guilt. The result is not only less communication but also a growing tension that neither of you really wants. Your intentions are to get closer, but the impact can be the opposite. Instead of feeling the love and support you wish to express, they might feel criticized or like they're being scolded. Instead of saying, "You never call anymore," try expressing how much you enjoy their communication without making them feel bad. A simple shift in language could be, "I love hearing from you. It really brightens my day." This conveys your feelings of longing without placing blame. It opens the door to more frequent conversations without creating any unnecessary pressure. One way to maintain that connection is to schedule regular check-ins. You could plan for a quick phone call each week, or even start a shared activity like an online crossword puzzle or a virtual coffee chat. This way, you're not just waiting for them to call, you're both actively creating a space for communication. And even if they can't talk on the phone for long, the simple act of connecting will help maintain the bond. By shifting the way we express our desires for connection, we can avoid making our children feel guilty or defensive. It's about fostering an environment where they feel comfortable reaching out because they want to, not because they feel obligated. Phrase number 3, "When I was your age, I had it much harder." When you say, "When I was your age, I had it much harder," it may seem like a way to emphasize how strong or resilient you've been throughout life. After all, every generation faces its challenges, and maybe you had to overcome a lot of difficulties. However, when you share this sentiment with your adult children, it can unintentionally make them feel that their struggles are being dismissed. It can leave them feeling as though their challenges aren't real or as important as yours were, which isn't the intention at all. Adult children, especially those who are trying to juggle careers, family, and a host of other responsibilities, can be struggling with pressures that may not have existed when we were their age. While it might be tempting to remind them of how tough things were in your time, the reality is that today's challenges are unique and just as difficult in their own way. The job market, the pace of life, parenting, and even the overwhelming presence of technology can make life more complicated than ever for younger generations. For example, imagine a grandmother telling her daughter, who is a single mother working full-time, "When I was your age, I had it much harder." While this statement might come from a place of wanting to connect and show empathy, it may make the daughter feel like her efforts are being minimized. She could already be struggling to balance work and childcare, and hearing this phrase might make her feel like her situation isn't being understood or acknowledged. Instead of comparing generations, try framing your support in a way that honors their experience. You might say, "I know things are different now. I'm proud of how you're handling so much." This acknowledges their struggles without minimizing them, and it shows your admiration for the way they're navigating a world that has its own set of challenges. Before offering any advice, consider pausing and asking, "Would you like me to share my experience, or would you prefer just to talk and vent?" This simple question gives your adult child the choice to either hear your perspective or simply have a listening ear. It shows respect for their experience and ensures that you're not overshadowing their struggles with your own. By reframing how we communicate about generational differences, we can avoid creating tension or invalidating the experiences of those we love. Instead of comparing, let's support them in ways that honor their unique challenges and offer encouragement rather than comparisons. Phrase number 4, "You should." When you say, "You should," it's often meant to guide, offer advice, or share wisdom. As seniors, we have a wealth of experience, and we naturally want to pass that knowledge on to our adult children. However, this phrase can sometimes come across as controlling or judgmental. Instead of feeling supported, your child might feel like they're being told how to live their life, which can lead to resistance and even emotional withdrawal. The intention behind "you should" is often rooted in love and concern. Maybe you've seen your child struggle with a decision, whether it's about parenting, finances, or life choices, and you believe your experience can help them avoid making the same mistakes. But the reality is, unsolicited advice, no matter how well-meaning, can make someone feel like they aren't trusted to make their own decisions. This doesn't mean your child doesn't value your opinion. It just means they may not want to be told what to do. For example, imagine telling your son, you should buy a house. While you might think this advice is practical and based on your own experiences with homeownership, it could be heard as an expectation or an assumption that they haven't made the right decisions yet. They may feel pressured, or even worse, judged for not already owning a home or following your path. Instead, try a more open-ended approach, such as, "I've learned a lot about home ownership over the years. If you ever want to talk about it, I'm here." This phrasing shifts from giving a directive to offering support. It opens the door for them to come to you when they're ready, without feeling like they're being pushed into a decision. A simple, yet effective, tip for offering advice is to ask, "Would it help if I shared a thought?" This question shows respect for their autonomy and gives them the option to invite your guidance. It shifts the power dynamic, making it clear that you're offering your perspective, not imposing it. This way, you create space for an open, two-way conversation rather than a one-sided lecture. Before giving advice, it's also helpful to pause and reflect. Journaling or talking with a peer group can help clarify your intentions and ensure that you're offering guidance from a place of care, not control. It allows you to process your thoughts and approach the conversation with empathy. By shifting the way we offer advice, we can foster healthier communication and show our adult children that we trust them to make their own decisions while still being there to support them when needed. Phrase number 5, "You're doing it wrong." When you say, "You're doing it wrong," it's often coming from a place of wanting to help. You might see your adult children making decisions, especially in areas like parenting or finances, that you believe could be improved with your experience. However, this phrase can have the opposite effect of what you intend. Instead of offering helpful advice, it cuts into their confidence and can create resentment, especially when they feel that their choices are being dismissed or corrected. Take parenting, for example. As grandparents, we might see our children disciplining their kids in ways that are different from how we did it. The temptation might be to step in and say, "You're doing it wrong." While you may think you're helping by offering guidance, what you're really doing is undermining their authority. It can make them feel like they're not capable of handling things on their own, and that's a sure way to create emotional distance. Instead, try asking questions rather than making corrections. For example, rather than saying, "That's not how we did it," you could say, "It's so interesting how things have changed. Tell me more about how you're handling this." This opens the conversation in a way that shows interest in their choices, rather than positioning yourself as the authority who has all the answers. It allows them to share their perspective and, if they're open to it, invites you to offer your thoughts in a way that feels less intrusive. A constructive approach is to reinforce your trust in their abilities. Saying, "I trust you've got this," shows confidence in their judgment and helps them feel supported. It's important to remember that the goal is not to control or correct, but to be there as a resource when they need it. In situations where emotions run high, especially during tense conversations, it's helpful to pause and take a deep breath before responding. This gives you a moment to calm your thoughts and respond with more intention, rather than reacting impulsively. It's a simple exercise, but it can make a huge difference in how the conversation unfolds. By shifting from a mindset of correcting to one of trust and curiosity, we can strengthen our relationships with our adult children. Rather than creating distance, we create space for them to lead with confidence, knowing that we're there to support them, not criticize them. Let's take a moment to recap what we've discussed today. We've explored 5 phrases that, while often said with the best of intentions, can unintentionally harm the relationship with our adult children. These phrases are: 1. I sacrificed everything for you. 2. You never call anymore. 3. When I was your age. 4. You should. 5. You're doing it wrong. Communication isn't just about the words we say, it's about the connection we create. The key is to avoid guilt, comparison, and unsolicited advice. Instead of focusing on what we've given up or how things were in the past, we can shift our language to emphasize curiosity, warmth, and understanding. This allows us to build relationships that are based on mutual respect and emotional connection. By replacing old patterns of communication with these new approaches, we create space for our adult children to make their own decisions while still feeling supported and loved. It's not about controlling, but about showing that we trust and believe in their ability to navigate their own lives. If any of these phrases surprised you, know that you're not alone. We all have moments where we speak without fully realizing the impact of our words. In the comments, let us know, which of these phrases do you hear, or say, the most? Your experience can help others who may be going through the same thing. And if this video helped you, Give it a thumbs up to let us know. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss helpful advice made just for you. Remember, it's never too late to strengthen bonds with our adult children. With a few small changes in the way we communicate, we can create more love, less tension, and deeper respect. So, take a moment today to reflect on how you can adjust your words, and watch how it transforms your relationship for the better.